So 27 is just a straight right triangle to the point, Pythagorean theorem. This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm telling you, if you know how to do it, just do it. Don't wait until later. Like, I'll set you up, but I'm not giving you answers until the very end. I won't post answers until Monday. So 27 is Pythagorean theorem. 28 is also Pythagorean theorem, but you got to figure out which variable to probably do first. The right side? No. Which variable? Like the x, the y, or the z? Yeah, you could do the y or you could do the x. Either one. The x is the whole. The x represents the whole triangle because this is a right angle as well. So if you're doing the x, then you have to do x squared plus 5 squared equals 6 squared. If you're doing for the y, you can do Pythagorean theorem or triples if you see a triple. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. And then to get your z, you just find the difference between 6 and 4. Because 6 is the whole segment and 4 is the part. Yes. Yes. Sorry. Here's 10. Yeah, Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, so then when you get to the next page, now you need to use your yellow flow chart. I gave you a copy of this flow chart right here. This could help you on this next section of problems. Yes, I will give it to you. Yellow and pink, like the flow charts I referred to on the review, I will provide them for you.
So you can list it?
Yes. Okay, so 29, the key information is the fact that it's an equilateral triangle. So you have to know what that means. Does anyone know what an equilateral triangle is? All sides are the same, congruent. So if they tell me this equilateral triangle is a perimeter of 30, then all sides would have to be what? Congruent to be, sorry. Oops. Go forward. What did I do? There it goes. All sides are congruent and they equal 10. So if you need to draw a picture, there's your picture. Triangle ABC has size 10. So the length of the altitude, your altitude is your height of the triangle, which becomes the long leg. Because if you have an equilateral triangle, all the angles are 60. But when I draw the height, now we convert to a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So you need to use your 30, 60, 90 rule. Recognize the altitude is the long leg, which means I can get that by doing short leg times root 3. What would be the short leg? 5, exactly. Half of 10 is 5. So this is a radical answer. For the 30, 60, 90 on 30, again, you have to use the 30, 60, 90 rule, which is your short leg, long leg, hypotenuse. It'll be the same thing, exactly. But on 30, which leg do you have? Yeah, you're starting with the short leg. Yep. Yeah. No, yeah, at this point you should be doing it. Okay, so on 31, you have a 45, 45, 90 rule.
divide by square root of 2.
Yes, you have to divide by square root of 2. Yep, we're done. That's what I'm saying. If you got it, just write down the answer and move on. Some of you know these already, and you know what to do, so you can just solve it. You don't need me to kind of give you every little hint. So, I'm gonna take. So basically, everything on this page is a special right until you get to 35.
Isn't it the sign?
No, you're like wasting time. Like I'm literally, people are answering questions as we go over it.
I'm doing the update.
Oh, okay. I got you. Mhm.
Is it the opposite?
Yeah, so you should be circling the 40, labeling the 18 as the opposite, and the X is the hypotenuse, not adjacent. So you should be doing sine of 40 equals 18 over X. If you forgot, when we do these trig ratios, we can create a proportion. So you can put it over 1, cross multiply, and you solve for X. So if I have to cross multiply really here, my X is going to equal. Do y'all remember what happens when X is on the bottom?
Oh, you do the arrow thing, and then it becomes division.
Yeah, you move it to the bottom. So X is 18 divided by the sine of 40. Yeah. Just make sure your calculator is in degree mode. I will remind you on the test, and the test will remind you as well. The mode button is next to the blue button. And then make sure degree is highlighted. Okay, so here on 36, you can do trig or you can use special rights. But if you look at trig, we have adjacent and hypotenuse. That is cosine. So this is like number 35.
So do you have to use trig on that?
You could do 30, 60, 90. Either one.
How do you divide?
You have to rationalize it. You can't have a radical at the bottom. So you multiply by a radical 3 on top and bottom. Yeah, radical 3 for 30, 60.
So then you get
Over 3. Uh-huh.
What's up, 6?
Yeah, that's why it's over 3. Because 3 can't go into 10.
So
10 root 3 over 3.
10 over 3.
10 root 3 over 3. You can't have a square root at the bottom. Okay. 37 is another Pythagorean theorem. 39, you're going to omit because you're missing a part. 38, you have to start off with circling your angle, labeling the parts. So if I have opposite and hypotenuse, what trig ratio is that? Yep, it is sine. So we should have sine of x equals 9 over 20. Because x is what we're trying to find, and that is the angle. You have to remember that x is the sine inverse. You have to do the inverse when x is inside the triangle. When it's inside the triangle, you do the trig inverse and round to the nearest whole degree. So we're not going to do 29.
29?
No, we're going to omit that.
You said 29.
Oh, I'm sorry, 39. 39, you're gonna admit. 40 is another trig. 2 is the adjacent, and you write 27. So which trig function would this be? Yeah, cosine. 40 is like 38, but it's just cosine.
So if you can, switch 2 or 14, would you be able to just simplify that?
You can change it, reduce it, but then still put that in the calculator. You can reduce it to 1/7, but you still have to put cosine. You still have to use cosine.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it'll give you both. If you didn't reduce it, it'll still give you the right answer. Okay, so on 41, circle the 25, the angle. X is the opposite. 8 is the adjacent. So we should be doing tangent. So if you put this over 1, you end up getting x equals 8 times the tangent of 25. On 42, I started this fact because you do have to memorize that. That is not given on the formula chart. I don't think so. You need to know that the angle of elevation is equal to the angle of depression. So it doesn't matter which term they say. If they say elevation, you can set it up like a depression. If they say depression, you can set it up like an elevation because they are the same. So when you have a problem like this, talking about elevation or a word problem, you will need to draw a picture using a right triangle. And you have to be comfortable with labeling that right triangle with the scenario in the word problem. So because it says the pole reaches a stake in the ground 30 feet from the foot of the pole, and the angle of elevation is 58 degrees, find the length of the wire. Try to put the labeling on your triangle. Let's see if you can label it based on what they tell you. Where would the 30 go? Where would the 58 go? What represents the length of the wire?
So would it always be in the bottom? With like that, yeah.
Yeah, it should always be with the horizontal line. The angle should always be with the horizontal line. So you should have had 58 in the bottom right corner. 30 should be on the horizontal line. The ground is on the bottom. And X is your hypotenuse. Yeah, this is cosine. So I'm going to give you time, guys, to either you can get your first check done and move on to the second check, or you're working on your test corrections. Okay? Yeah, we just finished. And some of you have already, I'm pretty sure some of you are majority already done with this section, because you just answered. Well, the last questions are the same. There were problems. Then we're going into a new section.
Wait, what do we have to get to?
45.